Hi there, AK Guy here. So one of the most popular phones right now is the Huawei P30 Pro, and you may know it as a phone with insane zoom. Well, I got my hands on one, so let's take a look at what it's capable of and see if it lives up to all that hype. Starting with the design, we have a glass back body with curved sides. The display is curved too, and together they provide a nice grip in the hand. In Singapore, the P30 Pro comes in 3 colors: Breathing Crystal, Aurora and Black. Mine is the Breathing Crystal, and depending on the lighting, you'll either see a purple to blue or a yellow to red gradient. Beautiful. We have a quad camera setup to the rear, more details about it later, and a subtle Leica branding below it. There is quite a bit of camera harm, but the included case does offer good protection. The metal frame is curved all around except at the top and bottom, where it is flat. On top, we have an air blaster with a microphone hole. Below is a single speaker grill, USB Type-C port, another microphone hole, and a really compact SIM tray. I never understand why manufacturers like to put microphone holes so close to a SIM tray. This SIM tray has a nano SIM slot on one side and a hybrid slot on the other side, for either a second SIM card or Huawei's nano memory card. Wait a minute, where's the headphone jack? Unfortunately, Huawei wasn't able to fit one on the P30 Pro. The included earphones have a USB Type-C connector, but if you want to use your own headphones with 3.5mm audio jack, you have to get an adapter separately. In front, we have a 6.47-inch Full HD OLED display. It may not be the sharpest display on a flagship device, but it's plenty bright and blacks are deep. Bezels look small, partially due to the curved sides. The chins on top and below are considerably small too. The P30 Pro has a notch on top, but it's tiny, housing only a single camera. Wait, where's the earpiece? Well, there isn't one. Instead, Huawei is using acoustic display technology, which basically plays audio through the display. I will talk more about the sound quality in a while. Like most modern day flagship devices, the P30 Pro has a fingerprint scanner built into the display. It isn't ultrasonic like on Samsung's Galaxy S10, so it doesn't work well if your fingers are wet, but it's relatively fast and reliable. Next, let's talk about performance. Inside the P30 Pro is Huawei's latest flagship processor, the Kirin 980. The local variant comes in a single config with 256GB of storage and 8GB of RAM. With graphics set to HDR and style set to realistic, it was able to run PUBG Mobile smoothly without stutter. There is a performance mode that you can enable in the settings app, but I did not find myself using it as the phone is already very powerful even without it. It drains battery faster, so unless you really need that boost, I recommend turning it off. For all the benchmark enthusiasts out there, here is how the Huawei P30 Pro fared in AnTuTu and Geekbench 4 with and without performance mode enabled. As mentioned earlier, the P30 Pro has 4 cameras on the rear. At the very top, we have a 20MP sensor with an ultra-wide angle lens, and it allows you to capture more without having to move further behind. Wide-angle photos do come with a bit of distortion at the side, but its quality is on par with the main camera, at least in the day. It is also used for macro shots, which allows you to capture subjects that are small and very near. These are things that normal smartphone cameras will not be able to focus on. You even have up to 3 times zoom in this mode. The second camera is the main camera, packed with a 40MP sensor with f1.6 aperture and OIS. By default, the app sets resolution to 10MP. You can change it to 40MP, but it will lose the ability to zoom. The zooming capabilities on this thing is a beast, which we will see in a while, so I recommend leaving it at 10MP. The key selling point of this camera isn't the high resolution, but its night capabilities. Here is a photo taken with the Pocophone F1 on auto. Here is another photo taken with the Pocophone F1, but with night mode enabled. Now, here is a photo taken with the P30 Pro without the night mode. The difference is literally night and day. Next, this weird looking third camera is the 8MP telephoto camera. It has a periscope lens design like what Oppo had demonstrated earlier, and it allows for 10 times hybrid zoom and 50 times digital zoom. Zooming in at 10 times, the photo quality is still good, but anything more, you can expect to see a lot of noise and blur. But just being able to zoom in 50 times means being able to capture objects beyond what your eyes are capable of seeing. and that itself is an incredible feat. Zooming in so much, you can easily lose track of subjects if your hands are not steady, so I highly recommend getting a tripod or something you can lean on. Here is a demo of all 3 cameras I just mentioned, taken outside Singtel Com Center. The last camera is a time-of-flight sensor used for depth sensing. This gives you that sweet bokeh effect in portrait mode, and is also used to play 3D motion games like on the Honor View 20. It should also be able to measure heights and lengths of objects, but the official app for that is not ready yet. Here are more photos taken with the rear cameras of the Huawei P30 Pro. So now I'm recording at 4K resolution at 30 frames per second. This is the highest that the phone can go. Let's just walk around. Stabilization seems to be pretty good. And in this mode, we have up to 15 times zoom. Ooh. And wide angle. I'm now recording at 1080p 60 frames per second. So stabilization is still very good. But now we are limited to just up to 10 times zoom, and the zoom doesn't seem to be as sharp as the 4K. But we see at this wide angle. The P30 Pro takes superb photos at night. But what about videos? Well, under extreme low light conditions, videos are blurry, but they do turn out much brighter than what you will normally get when you record on other phones. Give it a bit more light and videos will look okay, but stabilization isn't very good now. Without a doubt, Huawei P30 Pro has the most insane smartphone camera setup right now. With an unbelievable 50 times zoom and a mind-blowing low light performance, the P30 Pro crushes the competition in areas that smartphone cameras have always struggled. But as Anchorman once said,
"With great power comes great responsibility."
So use them wisely. The 32 megapixel selfie camera is pretty good with great dynamic range for a front-facing camera. It isn't that great at night though. The front-facing camera can record up to 1080p videos at 30 frames per second. So let's take a look. Let's talk about audio. Starting with the acoustic display technology I mentioned earlier. It works but isn't as good as having an actual earpiece. It gets loud enough, though not very loud. I would have preferred having an actual earpiece hidden near the edge. Since I only have the Pocophone F1 with me right now, let's compare their speakers. Both are bottom firing and their max volume is about the same. On the Pocophone F1, you can hear more in the trebles and the bass is thumpier. Meanwhile, the P30 Pro sounds less echoey and truer to life. Oh, and all the audio recording you hear in this video are recorded on the Huawei P30 Pro's microphone. Powering the P30 Pro is a large 4200 mAh battery. I tested it with moderate to intensive usage, which involved browsing the web and social media, playing Brawl Stars, PUBG Mobile and Asphalt Legends, as well as watching some videos. I was able to drain it down to 7% by 9 PM after a 14.5 hour day with a screen on time of 4 hours and 16 minutes. This isn't the most impressive battery life I've seen from such a large battery, but it's longer than most flagship devices these days, so I will not complain. If you want the battery to last longer, you can enable dark mode in the settings app. With that huge battery, you can also charge other people's phones via wireless reverse charging as long as their device supports wireless charging. You have to toggle it on in the settings app every time though, which is a little troublesome. I wish Huawei had added a quick toggle for it, like Samsung did. P30 Pro supports Huawei's own 40W supercharge, which the included wall adapter is capable of. It was able to get the device from 0 to 100% in just under an hour. The first 50% only took 20 minutes. Very impressive. Alternatively, you can charge the Huawei P30 Pro via wireless charging. With it, I was able to get the device from 0% to 100% in a little under 2.5 hours. Huawei P30 Pro runs Emotion UI 9.1 on top of Android 9 out of the box. Emotion UI isn't my favorite Android skin, but this version resolved one of my biggest complaints with Emotion UI, and that is the outdated icons. Gone are the cartoonish 3D looking icons, replaced by new ones that look flatter, simpler, and easier to identify. However, many of the issues I have with it are still here. The settings and camera apps are still poorly organized as usual. Also, the setting app still creates multiple tabs in recent apps, which you have to close one by one. That said, there are a couple of things that I really like about the current version of Emotion UI. Firstly, I love how easy it is to tell which apps support split screen while in recent apps. Split screen support is also really good, with most of Huawei's own apps supported. Next, Huawei's gesture controls are very well implemented. Many full screen controls got rid of the Google Assistant shortcut, but on the P30 Pro, you can still do so with swipe up from the bottom corner. One-handed mode is also still accessible by swiping diagonally from the bottom corner. The remote app supports a wide range of products, even from local brands like Akira. For products not in the list, you can also manually add them in the app. Lastly, I appreciate the fact that Huawei has a high care app where users can carry out basic troubleshooting and check the warranty status, repair progress, as well as spare part costs. So, will I recommend the Huawei P30 Pro? If it falls within your budget, why not? On their promotional material, Huawei focus a lot on the cameras, and they are very impressive. But even without them, Huawei P30 Pro has everything you expect from a 2019 flagship, and without a doubt, it's one of the best phones money can get you right now. So that's the end of my Huawei P30 Pro review. If you like this video, do leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.